Good morning, everybody. Leslie Myrick here. I am an interior designer and Nancy Ganzikoffer's associate business coach. This morning is Website Wisdom with the wonderful Teresa Schlup. Welcome, Teresa.
Thank you. I was excited to connect with you this morning. I love Nancy, but I love chatting with you too.
Okay, well, thank you. I'm glad I'm not just substitute Nancy.
No, not at all.
And pardon me for just a hot second while I'm trying to juggle 75 windows and share this video. And I don't know if my brain can figure out how to do this right now. So I may just have to not do the Facebook part and we'll figure that out later. Okay, I'm not going to waste time with that. Well, okay, designers, this is a great topic. We all take before photos because we document the projects when we start them. We need that information. And then, of course, for the great projects, we get great after photos. But we don't always know how or where to use them and how to take good before pictures. And this is something Teresa and I were chatting about before we went live that I'd never even thought of, that continuity of having befores that align with the afters. So Teresa is going to share with us today how to effectively use your before and after images. So Teresa, share your wisdom.
All right, thank you. So first, I want to stress again, because I've said it a few times in the last few months, but before pictures don't belong in the portfolio. Your portfolio is your wow factor. It is to mesmerize your clientele. It's to get them excited about what can happen. It's not to get them thinking about the dingy, dirty space that they have and want to revamp. So you don't want to use them in your portfolio, but they are hidden gems that can really take your marketing to the next level. And that's kind of what I wanted to share. And I do have a blog post, as always, to go with this topic that you guys can take a look at on my website, caffeinecreative.io. But I wanted to dive in and talk about the power of those before photos, how to capture them strategically, and then where you can utilize those. So the first thing is, why are they so powerful? And it's because they provide a tangible proof of your skills and your creativeness. Like when you can have this before picture that is paired with an after picture that really shows the transformation, nobody will deny your skills and your creativity. Yeah. Nobody is going to doubt you. You're not going to doubt you because you're going to be like, wow, I am freaking brilliant. And your confidence level is going to soar. So that's one of the very big things about those before images when you're really taking them from a strategic mindset. Yeah. They also are going to demonstrate the value that you're bringing to a project, because there are going to be things that you think of as a designer that me as a homeowner would never even consider. There's so many of those areas and things that blow my mind when I'm working with my interior design clients that I never would have thought of, like strategically placing my reading chair so that it fits for my right-handed person for me. I don't think of those kind of things, but you guys do. And so this is going to help show the value that you're bringing to the project. And you're also going to really capture the viewer's attention when you have those wow factor before and after photos. Yeah. So again, they're hidden gems in your marketing that you can use to really bring in your dream customer. And you just want to start with a little bit of strategic thought beforehand. So capturing the before pictures. Here's what I suggest. As you said, you're going in, you're documenting the space. You want to make sure you have a good look at what the space looks like, where the light switches are, where all the things are at. But think about also, what are the areas of your project that are going to be transformed the most? What are those wow factors that you are incorporating into the new design? What changes are going to be the most impactful? When you think about that and you take time to actually not just snap some iPhone photos. Now, I don't care if you use your iPhone for these pictures, but not just go in and quick snap some, but think about, how would I position this? I'm going to change this mantle, this fireplace. I'm going to transform this fireplace. How would I position the after picture? How would I look at it? What kind of lighting would I have? Would I have the windows open or not? I mean, think about those kind of things and do your best to capture that before photo so that when you have the after photo, people know it's the same room. A lot of times before and after pictures, you see this before image, it's from a different angle, a different shot. It's a bad, terrible lighting. And there's only so much you can do about the lighting. I mean, if the lighting's that bad, it's that bad in the space. And that can be one of the points you talk about. But you look at the after picture and you're like, it doesn't even look like the same place. Do they match these pictures right? Like, because the angles and everything are so different. Yeah. So plan those before pictures. Grab the angles that you can. Do the lighting as best as you can. Obviously, you're probably going to improve upon the lighting, but go ahead and try and capture that, and use a decent camera that has good resolution. You don't have to bring in a photographer, but you do want, and iPhones have pretty good camera. Just don't zoom in too much. If you zoom in too much, it's not going to be fabulous.
Yeah.
But use a decent camera to capture those, and think about, as you're taking them, think about what the after shot is going to look like, and create it in that. Does that make sense?
You know what? It's so funny. It seems so obvious, but as a designer, I'm not in the headspace of the afters when I'm just starting a project. I'm just thinking, okay, I need to stand in this corner, get all 4 walls, make sure I've got wide shots, detail shots. I know where vents are, light switches. And I get lucky sometimes, probably shooting the right angle that we're going to do in and after. But I love this intentionality of thinking through that right at the outside of the project. When you are first documenting it, sure, take your quickie photos just so you've got them, but also take those photos that you think, okay, this is probably going to be a wide shot that we're going to show at the end. It would be great to have it lined up. Take videos too, before and after video. My personal favorite, easy peasy. You stand in one area, you just pan around, and then you get the after in the same. And it's a really cool reel. It's great content that didn't take a whole lot of effort.
Right. And it doesn't have to take a lot of time. These strategic photos that I'm talking about, I'm not saying spend hours trying to plan strategically. I'm saying spend 15 minutes and jot down 3 wow areas that you're going to have in the project.
That's a great tip.
Go in, snap pictures from them, try and get consistent angles. And then when you go in, bring in your photographer for the after shots, have those photos available and tell the photographer, I want to capture some after shots specifically to match with these images. And it's literally just minutes, and it's going to be something that you can use in your marketing for as long as that design is valid that you want to promote it. So we're talking years, because most of the times you're not creating a design that is, next year you're going to hate and not want to show.
I hope not.
You're creating something that's timeless.
Yeah.
So you've got marketing to reuse over and over again for however many years you want.
That's awesome.
Right? Yeah. And again, like going back to capturing those after photos, getting those consistent angles, making sure you have got the good quality lighting. Here's where you want to opt for the professional photography, because they're going to be able to capture things. And you want to opt for a professional photographer who is good at interior spaces. There are photographers all over the place who are fabulous at family portraits in the park and senior pictures. Yeah. They're not interior photographers. And you've got to get somebody who knows interior photography, who understands capturing the wow factors when it comes to real estate and spaces.
Well, and I wanted to mention that too, because even a real estate photographer is not necessarily going to have the same skill set and viewpoint as an editorial interiors photographer. Sometimes there's overlap. The photographer that I've used recently mainly does real estate, but she also has that eye and that ability to do that. But this is sort of like a bonus tip for photos. Real estate photos are not editorial, and they are not the same, and you're not going to get press picking them up or people being interested in them, because there's a completely different look and feel. So just keep that in your back pocket for when you're hiring a photographer and doing these amazing after images.
Absolutely. And I wanted to stress that, because I often see where they brought in a professional photographer, spent a lot of money, and have terrible lighting, terrible angles, terrible. It's not well done photography, even though it was a professional who did a lot of the right things. They don't have the right mindset. They don't have the right eye. So look for somebody who is really good at capturing those details. All right. So now you've got your before pictures you took strategically. You've got fabulous after pictures. So where do you use them, and how do you put them into your online marketing?
You mentioned right off the top, not in your portfolio. And I want to speak to that, because I think that's where people often do it, because then it shows the transformation and people can see. But tell me your take on that, because I think that's really important.
So your portfolio is to show the amazing work that you do, not the disaster projects you take on. Period. It's supposed to show people how awesome you are. Your portfolio should be magazine ready. It should look like you are just opened up a Southern or home or something like that.
Southern Comfort, that too, maybe.
Yeah, that too. But you can tell I'm ready for vacation, right? No. You want it to be that wow factor where somebody opens it up and it's like, oh my God, I would love to have a space like this. You want that instant reaction of, oh my God, oh, this is amazing. This is incredible. When you start with before pictures on a portfolio, you open it up to a disaster space. You open it up to a space that's not that fabulous. You open it up to a space that is bad lighting or whatever the case is, or cluttered or whatever. And so now people are not thinking about, no matter how amazing your photos are beneath those before photos, they're not thinking about that. They're thinking about the disaster space up above because it grabbed their attention and it's relatable in their life. We all have disaster spaces. As I mentioned before we hopped on, like my office, honestly, from this side forward is a disaster right now because I'm getting a new computer. But you don't see that because I don't want you to see that and think that I'm a disaster. I want you to think I'm a put together professional. So it's the same kind of thing with that portfolio. Now, I have seen some people put the before photos at the bottom of the page. I don't know that you really get that much benefit from it because by the time I've gotten down there, I don't care about them. I'm so mesmerized by your work. I don't really care about the before photos anymore. I might glance at them, but where you would really get a powerful impact in your marketing is by sharing those in social media. Like you said, through a reel, doing that video in a reel, or doing the transformation, the before and the after, and doing it kind of in a fun, unique way. That's where you're going to get people talking more about that.
Yep.
Sharing it in a blog post, creating a transformation blog post. Let me walk you through the transformation. And you could take those 3 key areas, talk about the problems that each area had, and then pair it with the after photo so they can see how powerful it is. That blog post talking about your work, your thought process, your way of approaching the problems that were in that project, because they all have some kind of crazy problem, is going to show how effective you are as a designer, how creative you are. It's going to showcase your problem solving skills. It's going to do, so many things that is going to pull people in so that they feel like they know you and they like what you do. And they're trusting you because they see how well you took care of somebody else's space. So you're developing, like Kim always talks about, the like, know, and trust factor.
Yeah.
When you tell the story in a blog post.
And that's the key. I love that you brought in storytelling, because the photos are great, but if you just have the photos in your portfolio, the before and afters, it leaves a lot of room for questions and interpretation. And you're right. Let's let the portfolio be the wow moment, the magazine ready moment, and then tell the story on the blog. Obviously not giving identifying details, but what were the challenges and struggles? What were you facing? How did you solve it?
Yeah.
I've done blog posts like that where I do a complete project reveal, and it's also a chance to subtly share about my process, my deliverables, what clients can expect. I take them through from before photos to mood boards to renderings to afters, and I take anybody who wants to see completely through our design process from start to finish. And I think and then you can see, oh my gosh, here's the space, here's how it started, here's how it evolved, and holy cow, I need to call this designer. She knows what she's doing.
And here's the beauty of doing that. Here's what I want. What I don't think people realize is that when you share that blog post and you're sharing that story and you're putting in your process details and stuff interwoven into it, they are starting to build a relationship with you before they've even had a conversation with you. And I'm telling you right now, relationship marketing is the best way to build your business. You've got to build a relationship of like, know, and trust with the people that you want to serve. And that's where you're going to get referrals. That's where you're going to get new business. That's where you're going to get those things. So by crafting that story in a blog post, now you're building a relationship without even being present with that person. And they're going to be more likely to reach out to you. You can take that blog post and turn it into a case study that you use to present to networking groups when you have to do a formal presentation. A lot of us had stood up at a BNI or something like that. And hello, I'm Teresa and I'm a web designer and here's what I do. That's an opportunity for you to do that as well, and having these case studies available. So now you've got that. Sharing it on social media, I think we talked about, like reels or stories or whatever, showing that transformation. And don't just show it once. Don't just show it when you reveal the project. Show it in 3 months, 6 months, a year from now. Show it while it's relevant. When you remember, man, I really loved this project and I would love to do another one. Show it again because it shows the world what you were wanting to attract. So show that constantly and keep a bank of those posts so that you have content to pull from all the time for your social media stuff.
Yeah, that's a great point, Teresa, because I think as designers, we see our projects, we know them so well. We're like, everyone's seen this. Like, no one's paying that much attention. Share it again. And even if people have seen it, if they loved it, they'll reconnect with it and be like, I love that project. That wallpaper is amazing.
Yes. And when they reconnect with it, they may very well be in a position to move forward at that point.
Yeah.
So you're not going to annoy anyone by resharing your stuff, only yourself and your mindset. So just share and share and share. Share it in emails when it comes to sending out subscribers. If you've got a list of subscribers, you need to be connecting with them on a regular basis. There's just you have to connect with them. There's just no other if, ands, or buts about it. So talk about the project. You could talk about that project in 10 different ways, all new, and have 10 different emails that you can send out to people. Not all at once, but you can continue to invite them back to share and show and do all of that. There's really no limit to how you can share those before and after photos. You just have to get out there and do it.
And I think that's it. Build it into your process. Put it, if you have a template for your design process, have it as part of your procedures. Take before photos, not just internal documentation, but take before photos to share afterwards. Put that in your notes. Put it somewhere where you're going to think about it, because
just a little bit. Yeah.
And it's easy to forget. And then if you forget, it's too late. You can't go back and redo it. So,
and I cannot tell you how many times I've visited with a designer who was like, God, I wish I'd have captured a better before photo.
Yes.
Wish I would have gotten this.
I'm guilty of that myself. Wishing I thought more intentionally about how the afters would look in comparison to the before.
Yeah. Absolutely. And this brings me up. I want to share again. So as you guys know, if you've been here with us before, I have a free course library, and my latest course is Design Unveiled, the ultimate portfolio crafting course. And you guys really should check out this course. It's free. You just have to give me an email address. That is it. But sign up, because it's going to help you, give you that checklist to start thinking very intentionally about your projects before you start them, so that when it comes to doing the reveal, when it comes to show off and showing the project off, when it comes to really marketing that project at the end, you have everything you need to create incredible marketing content to show the world how amazing you are.
Love it. So keep the portfolio, as the portfolio is your magazine. The blog and social media is your storytelling and inviting people in to connect with you and your thought process and your design decision making.
Yeah. And I will say too, and I think we talked about this in a previous video, but when you put your portfolio at the very center of your marketing, you never lack marketing content. You never are like, what am I trying to do? What holiday is coming up? Okay, let's celebrate National Donut Day. No, you're never putting fluff content in your social media. You have nothing but real content that helps people get to know you, learn to like you, and learn to trust you. And that is the key to building a successful business.
You're absolutely right, especially in design, where this is a really intimate business, where we get involved with people's marriages, people's money, people's most private spaces. That connection matters. And when they can see themselves in your projects, where they can see, oh yeah, my kitchen kind of looks like the before photo, and holy, she's going to be the one to take me to that end result. And I like her, and I like the way she taught, and like I just want to be her friend. Like, that's the kind of stuff that this content does. It's marketing, it's building relationships for you.
And that's the key, because it is a very vulnerable moment to bring somebody into your home and to let them be a part of that behind the scenes with you and your spouse and your kids, and the mess in the closet and all the other things that you have going on that we hide from the world. Yeah. It's such a powerful moment. I mean, to share, when you share those kind of things, and I trust you, then I'd be more open to bringing it in. I have a husband who loves to shut down and not bring people into a house. He would never let me bring an interior designer unless he had the like, know, and trust factor ahead of time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
awesome.
Oh,
yeah. Yes, Teresa.
Yeah.
Yes. No, it's even like, It doesn't matter that I've been doing this for 19 years. I'm still, every time we do a live, I learn something from you and our other guests. I mean, there's always more to learn. So, and it doesn't tend to be the huge earth shattering things that make the difference. It's these little like 1% tweaks, like, oh, take better before photos and just let like, these little things make such a difference. So thank you. I think this is something that a lot of designers haven't thought of before. Someone on Instagram, Holly Scott Interior Design, had said, I love this because I don't always share the story behind the design. So I think designers, like, we see the pictures, we post those and we move on. And I think there's such value in the storytelling visually and otherwise of the entire design process.
The story behind the design is what brings me in so much more than what anything else is. The pictures are great, but we are used to seeing fabulous pictures. We see them on the supermarkets, stand in magazines. You know, we see the Magnolia. We watch, you know, all the shows and stuff. We see all the fabulous stuff. Tell me the story.
Yep. I love that. Okay. Teresa's website, caffeinecreative.io. It's at the top of the screen here. And you mentioned, Teresa, you have a new free course all about developing portfolio, which I will be doing immediately, if not sooner, because that sounds amazing. Because this is, people just throw a portfolio up and move on. And I've never thought that intentionally about it. So I think that's great to be able to utilize that to the best of its ability and have it be marketing for you while you're doing other design work.
Yeah. And again, when you put your marketing at the center of, or you put your portfolio at the center of your marketing, you never lack for content. You were never sitting there on Sunday night like, crap, I've not posted anything. What am I going to do? Yeah. You will have so much content available. You're like, oh, let me reshare this project, or let me do this. Or you can even get really crazy and have things built out in a schedule that just automatically goes out for you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Love it. All right. Sign up for Teresa's free course. And you've got other great free content as well. I love your blog. I'm a subscriber. I'm thumbs upping all your great information. So thank you for all you are doing for us interior designers. And we'll see you back here next month.
All right. We'll see you guys later.
Bye, everyone.